Hey VIPs, thank you so much for joining our workshop this week. I'm so excited to share some educational information with you. I know I've put a few posts out there today about chemical usage in the home, the impact to your body, your home, the environment, and I hope that you've learned something from that. What I want to share with you is how Norwex has blessed my home and my family over the last couple months. As COVID hit and we found ourselves, running to the grocery stores, the, convenience stores, trying to get our sanitizer wipes, any of our cleaning products, only to find that those things were sold out. It was certainly incredibly frustrating. I, like many of you, became obsessed with using things like sanitizer wipes because I felt like, it was something that I needed in order to keep my family safe during these very difficult times. But what I found is that some of those things were actually causing more harm to my home than the good that I thought I was doing. If any of you have seen any of my videos before about wipes, this was probably the most telling thing for me because I thought that these were helping to protect my family. And what I found is that they were actually being more harmful to my family. First of all, I wasn't using them properly. I don't know about you guys, but I never read the back of them. I thought it was pretty straightforward. I wipe down whatever surface I need to wipe down and I'm good to go. But if you read the instructions on the back of these, it actually says that it needs to have a visibly wet surface for 4 minutes. I certainly wasn't doing that. Additionally, if I wipe down my countertops, I thought I was good to go. You really need a water rinse in order to, clean those chemicals off any surfaces that would come in contact with food. And on top of it, it specifically says that it's hazardous to humans and domestic animals. Like, that's what's in my house. And, we're using these to wipe down children's toys. We're using these on our doorknobs, on our countertops, on the handles of the grocery store carts. All of those things because we thought we were making it safer for our environment and for not really our environment, but for our families. And really, we were doing just the opposite. So these are things that will no longer be purchased in my house. Additionally, let me see if I can share this with you. These are all the chemicals that I have been able to eliminate from my home just with a few products. I no longer buy this. I definitely don't buy this. I don't need this. And I do not need this anymore. And this product here, I don't even want to get into because that there came in a sealed bag and had probably more warnings than I think anything that I've ever brought into my home before. And to be quite honest with you, the smell was just incredibly overpowering. I needed gloves in order to use it. And to be quite honest with you, after a couple sprays, you definitely felt like you needed to get out of that room because it was just incredibly toxic. And I was more concerned about how I was going to clean items in my home than what the actual cleaning products were doing to my home. So admittedly, I wasn't necessarily looking for an alternative because I didn't know that there was an alternative. And then I was blessed by a friend who invited me to her Norwex party. And I have to admit, I was a bit skeptical. As I sat there watching some of the demonstrations, I thought, well, that's kind of cool, but how do I know? Like, how do I know that it really cleans the way that it said it cleans? And the demonstration that really sold it for me was the chicken demo with the protein swabs. And I will do that later this week for those of you who haven't had an opportunity to see that. But that is what was incredibly powerful for me because that to me proved that it works. Like, you can tell me that it works, that's great, but I need to see it. I'm definitely a show me kind of person. So with that in mind, I just showed you all these products that I no longer need, but let me show you why I don't need them anymore. So I'm going to use a mirror as kind of our cleaning surface just because it's the easiest thing for me to show you versus carrying you throughout my house, which I don't think any of you guys want to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take spray butter just because it's easy. and I'm going to spray it on the surface of the mirror. Now, some of you guys have seen this demo before, and that's great, but it still amazes me that it works as well as it does. And think about, you know, what's in this. It's basically kind of an oily, you know, product. So we just talked about wipes. We talked about how they're dangerous. So I'm going to use a glove because I certainly don't want this in my system. So taking the mirror and then taking the wipe, which is what I would do. Oh, there we go. Just trying to wipe the surface down, and you see it's not really doing much other than smearing it around. You know, it's on the wipe, but it's not really doing much in the way of cleaning it. So what I have here is an EnviroCloth that I'm going to do in one hand. I'm going to fold in half and then fold in half again, and it's just damp, right? When you clean with an EnviroCloth, you always want to fold it to have multiple surfaces. You also want to clean with a flat hand. So if you scrunch it up, it's not going to clean the surface as well if you clean it with a flat hand. So now I'm just going to take this and I'm going to do the same thing. But I'm just going to wipe off the surface. And kind of hard to do one-handed, but we can make that happen. Just wiped off that surface with the EnviroCloth. Now I'm going to take the window cloth and same situation, folded it in half and then in half again. And then you use this to polish and shine. So I've just removed all of that butter from the surface, and now I'm just making it nice and shiny. And you can see that it is perfectly clean. And I just use that. I just use water to make that happen. So that's the EnviroCloth and the window cloth. The EnviroCloth actually can be used on roughly 90% of the surfaces in your home. I use it on countertops, I use it on sinks, I use it on mirrors, I use it on windows, every one of my windows. One of the windows that really drove me crazy, it was actually my French doors. I hated cleaning all of those little panes all the time in between, you know, kids and dogs. It's constantly having to clean them. But those two items have made it so easy to clean with just water. So another thing that I found to help me remove chemicals from my home, because sometimes you need a little bit more, right? Like I said, you can probably clean 90% of the surfaces in your home with just water, with the EnviroCloth, and in some cases the window cloth. But sometimes you need a little bit more. I'm going to take a Sharpie, and I've got a ceramic tile here. Now what I really like about this is, I need to clean this off. What I really like about this is I have quite a few friends who have shared some stories about children writing on walls, and I'm very fortunate that we have not had that issue in quite some time. But I know that, you know, kids like to be artists and they like to get creative. So we're going to simulate writing on a ceramic tile with a Sharpie. So I'm just going to set it over here and let it dry for a moment. But I do have some friends who have shared their horror stories about when their children have written on, you know, walls or other surfaces with permanent marker or other things that their little artistic selves want to share. So Norwex has an item, it's called cleaning paste, and it's made of marble flour. So it's, you know, again, you know, it's not toxic. It is safe for you, it's safe for your home, it's safe for your family, your pets, and otherwise. Now this is a sample that I got in my sample kit. What you would actually receive is about double the size, and it lasts 3 to 4 years because you need very, very little of it. This product is available exclusively in our Safe Haven 5, and what we like to say is it's elbow grease in a jar. See, I just wiped a little bit on my damp EnviroCloth. This is something that I've used on my kitchen stove on my flat top to get some of those burn marks off, just like this. It works up with just a little bit of effort, and it gets out some of those really caked on, baked on, very, very difficult to remove items. So what I'm going to do is take this and just get a little bit, and you can see it took it right off. Because as I said, it is literally elbow grease in a jar. So those are 3 of the items that are in our Safe Haven 5. The EnviroCloth, the window cloth, and the cleaning paste. Another item that is in the Safe Haven 5, which is an item that, again, can help you just take the chemicals right out of your home, that is our dusting mitt. So I'm going to take the same mirror and I'm going to sprinkle some flour on it, just to simulate dust. You see, I just have a little bit on there. And then what I'm going to do is take our dusting mitt. And our dusting mitt, take it and rub it up against itself, because what that does is that creates a static charge, and that's what's going to lift the dust. So put that dusting mitt on, grab my mirror, and then I am going to just lift all of the dust or the flour right onto the surface. Now it will stay here until I remove it. The way I'm going to remove it is either to dust it off into the garbage can, or you can use a rubber brush to remove it from the dusting mitt, but it will stay there. This will take a lot of dust off of surfaces. If you have some neglected areas, it's fantastic. It also works really well if you wet it and use it on screens. So it is just a tremendous item that can make dusting so much easier in your home. Just think about, you're just wiping down surfaces. You no longer need this chemical in order to pick up that dust, because this dusting mitt will pick it up. Additionally, it's going to keep the dust off much longer than using some of those products that you've used in the past. So I've shared 4 items with you. The 5th item is the Ultra Power Plus laundry detergent. Now I have to tell you, I was a bit skeptical about the laundry detergent because I didn't know that I needed it. I thought I really liked what I was using. But what I love about it is phosphate free. It has no fragrances, no dyes. It is completely clear, and it is fantastic by itself to clean your laundry, but it is an amazing multi-purpose cleaner. You can use a teaspoon with 8 ounces of water and put it in a spray bottle and pretty much use it on anything that you need a little bit more cleaning power, or maybe you feel like you want a little bit added. I had a customer reach out to me today and ask me about using it as a spot treatment. You can absolutely use it as a spot treatment. I actually keep a little salt shaker of it in my bathroom that I use at night after I wash my face with my makeup remover cloth or my body cloth. I sprinkle it on, rub it under hot water, and it is clean and ready to go, and it is purified and ready for me the next morning. So those are just some of the items that can help you eliminate chemicals from your home. I wanted to spend a few minutes sharing that with you, and I hope that you've learned something from our posts. I'm going to have some more posts over the next couple days sharing additional information. And as always, if there's anything that I can do to help answer any questions, please feel free to reach out. So thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Have a good night.